I left my heart in Karbala, in Karbala, in Karbala. From Karbala, 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 to Karbala, Karbala, Karbala. I left my heart in Karbala, in Karbala, in Karbala. شوریده و شیدای تو هم، شوریده و شیدای تو هم، شیرینی رویای منی تا به قیامت های تو هم. دین منی، دنیای منی، آقای منی، آقای منی، آقای منی. شوریده و شیدای تو هم، شیرینی رویای منی تا به قیامت های تو هم. دین منی، دنیای منی، آقای منی، آقای منی. وای با شهیدان تو یا حسین، وای بر سر خوان تو یا حسین، وای به دلم از رت کربلا. From Karbala, 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 to Karbala, Karbala, Inshallah. I left my heart in Karbala, in Karbala. From Karbala, 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 to Karbala, Karbala, Karbala. I left my heart in Karbala, in Karbala, in Karbala. The luminous moon lightening the way, the rising sun that brightens the day. Heaven without you would be in flame. You're the heaven in Karbala, in Karbala, in Karbala. Your visitors offer you their hand, your visitors offer you their hand. Enemies will never understand. How can the water lose to the sand? How can the thirst win in Karbala, in Karbala, in Karbala? Boy, heaven is opening, Ya Hussein. Boy, angels descending, Ya Hussein. Boy, heaven is opening, Ya Hussein. Boy, angels descending, Ya Hussein. Boy, they are reciting Karbala, in Karbala, in Karbala. From Karbala, 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 to Karbala, Karbala, Karbala. Where are your hearts? I left my heart in Karbala, in Karbala. From Karbala, 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 Hussein, to Karbala, Karbala, Karbala. I left my heart in Karbala, in Karbala, in Karbala. The hand of God that nurtures the young, the hand of God that nurtures the young. Speaking for Allah, you were the tongue, separating his right from the wrong. Elevated in Karbala, in Karbala, in Karbala. The hand of God that nurtures the young, the the hand of God that nurtures the young. Speaking for Allah, you were the tongue, separating his right from the wrong. Elevated in Karbala, in Karbala, in Karbala. The ship that sails swiftly through the wave, the ship that sails swiftly through the wave. And whoever boards your ship is safe, immune from the punishments of the grave. Whoever mourns you in Karbala, in Karbala, in Karbala. When will we meet again, Ya Hussein? Inshallah. When will we meet again, Ya Hussein? Raise your hand. When will we meet again, Ya Hussein? When under your dome will I grieve again? When will we meet again, Ya Hussein? When under your dome will I grieve again? From Najaf I walked into Karbala, in Karbala, in Karbala. From Karbala, Karbala, Karbala to Karbala, Karbala, Karbala. I left my heart in. I will come.
Ya Allah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله على خير خلقه أجمعين محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين، لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين. صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله. لبيك داعي الله، لبيك. إن كان لم يجبك بدني عند استغاثتك ولساني عند استنصارك، فقد أجابك قلبي وسمعي وبصري. سبحان ربنا إن كان وعد ربنا لمفعولا. قال الله عز وجل في كتابه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا مريم اقنتي لربك واسجدي واركعي مع الساجدين. آمنا بالله. صدق الله العلي العظيم. Respected brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Hello. From wherever you may be joining, peace, blessings, blessings, and the mercy of God be upon you. The eternal mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, may it be upon you, inshallah. In the first night I mentioned that though these may be online by us merely joining in these in our different homes, our homes turn into the Husayniyah, our homes turn into the venue where the blessings of Allah come and descend upon in honor of Abu Abdullah al-Husayn alayhi salam. Tonight's discussion is about our women in our community. Our discussion tonight is about women in our community. That is the discussion for tonight. After having discussed yesterday self building and the importance of self building and encouraging self building in our communities. So today we want to talk about women in our communities, and it is very important that we discuss this matter. For a community is not a community when it doesn't have um, individuals, and these individuals will be from both sexes. They'll be from both genders, male and female. So tonight we just want to highlight the importance or the position of women in a community or in the success of a community rather. See, I will not be talking about the boring or the topics tired topics that we've heard in previous um lectures and conversations. You know, the tired ones where they want to tell you about how a woman must submit to the man. That's all they said that they should do. Women who are not submissive are bad, and so on and so forth. Those tired conversations, we will not be talking about them today. Or even the even better one, I won't be talking about about women being actually better than men and actually closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're not going to talk about that. I see a laughing emoji because, hey, I have a co-speaker with me tonight. But they're them being closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and so on. We're not going to talk about that. That's all true and everything. But the one about submission, because the we are still on individuals. We are still on individuals. So us being on individuals, we're talking about people as individuals now. Tonight being the highlight being on women as individuals. Let's not talk about them with men. Let's not talk about them in comparison to men. No. We're just talking about women as women. You know, and then the more uh it's not necessarily degrading, but it just limits the value of women in our communities, where they are just seen as birth givers and mothers. There are other roles that women play in a community that are very important. And tonight, inshallah, we will discuss those and hopefully shed some light on them. We're talking about individuals. So in this case, female individuals. How are they supposed to be as individuals before they are mothers, before they are wives? Let's talk about them as daughters. Let's talk about them as women. Let's talk about them as that individual. Because for some, let's talk about her in case she is not married or in case she never gets married. Let's talk about her purely as a woman, as an individual who happens to have hijab wajib upon her. That's all. Let's just talk about her in that way. Let's talk about her position in the community. Before anything, before we equate her to anyone, compare her to anyone, pair her with anyone, let's talk about her position herself. in the community? What kind of position does she have? I remember a conversation that I had with my brother Sheikh Ali Nchinyan, oh, Muruti Ali Nchinyan, some time ago. It was in passing, but it's very relevant that I um, mention it. Mm-mm. So people like to say that, yeah, no, these are not the olden days where women just stay at home. These are not the olden days where, but, and then he mentions this very interesting point. He says that, okay, boss. He says that that is actually a wrong notion of if or as backward as you can go. You can retract your steps and try to see where the position that women had. He said that women, they would do crop farming. That was their specialty. Then the men would do livestock farming, hunting, so on. But primarily, the duty of the woman was what? Crop farming. So she's the one that when the seasons, having grown up in a rural area, I know that it's always the ladies that will tell you that, ish, winter is coming. Yeah, no, if it rains so late into August, it means this and this is going to happen. If this and this happens, because they are always aware with that. From that old school upbringing where the women are in charge of the crop farming, where the women are in charge of plowing the earth and um, creating wealth from that. So it's not surprising today seeing, um, uh, I forgot their names, of course, seeing so many ladies who are in commercial farming and becoming so rich and so established in such a short time. It's in their nature. Always wanted to say that because every time, many a times when we mention a woman's nature, it's always negative things. But that's how the woman, that's the position that they had at that time. The women, they used to specialize in the crop farming. They knew that, okay, no, at this time we plant this vegetable. At this time we plant this. At this time we plant this. And then so on and so forth. Then thus there is food. Thus there is food. They say a man's wealth is he mentioned this a very interesting point as well, that a man's wealth is his livestock, basically, his cattle, his cows. So it means that if the woman um, farms vegetables every day, this is what's eaten every day, not the cow, because the cow is the wealth. So we're eating the woman's income. Back in those days, we were living on the woman's income instead of on the man's income. I'm putting it extreme, but that's the position women have back in the day, traditionally, culturally. Back in the day, that's the position that they had. And where were the men at those times? Practicing and acting, practicing and training for war. It's coming. Wait for it. So today, the same thing as well. Women can do any job. In fact, there's a complaint now that no, man, women are getting better opportunities than men, and so on and so forth. And they used to do livestock. They used to hunt. They used to fight. They used to protect. They used to do this and that. Today, you'll find them at the gym lifting iron. It's good. Alhamdulillah, the men should be, everyone should be at their physical peak, and everyone should make sure to take care of their health, of course. But that's the thing. Women as individuals, they have this role, okay? Because we know the saying that is usually thrown around: you give a woman a house, she makes it a home. You give her a seed, she makes it a plant. You give her this, she makes it that. That is a woman's position. She's the one who brings blessings. Blessings come into a household because of a woman. Now, having given this introduction and given this synopsis of what we want to discuss about, we need to get to what do we actually need, or what kind of women do we want in a community? Okay, not being the women. Then let's talk about them before marriage, or let's talk about them in case they do not ever marry. What It's quite funny. Um, before I tell you what's quite funny, uh, just a quick reference of Sheikh Azhar Nasser's two lectures. The first one is Islamic manhood or masculinity. Second one is how secular feminism um, kills women. Basically, two very important lectures to watch and learn from. Very interesting content, and his delivery, of course, very entertaining and uplifting. Sheikh Azhar Nasser. But it's quite funny that the movements that are there, they want to equate women to men. They want to make women and men be the same thing, whereas that's not possible ever. And then it creates a lot of confusion of the highest order in the world today. There's a right before the sitting on the member, I was looking for this lecture. I was looking for this quote. I forgot who said it, but he says that it's surprising, or it's actually unfortunate to see women wanting to be women want to be equated to men when they are better. They are superior to men. So basically, if according to that logic, if men are here and women want to equate themselves, they are not coming from here, coming up, bringing themselves down. They are bringing themselves down in order to equate themselves to men. And this is a problem. We don't want that. That's the quote. I'm sure you've seen it on the internet, on social media, and everywhere. But what do we need from women? Most importantly, what do we need from women? We need women to be women. I'm delivering this lecture when about 2 months ago. Matt Walsh did a document, published or what is it? Premiered his documentary titled "What Is a Woman," and very interesting content. You find professors not being able to define a woman. That's something else. Let's not go into that. But we need women to be women. We need women to stick to their fitra, stick to their nature, to be women, not try to be men, not compete with men, not want to be like men. We don't need that. The beauty of a woman is her being feminine. The what is admirable of a woman is her staying authentic as a woman. What is beloved from a woman is her portraying her womanness, her femininity, and not withering about it, and not going side to side about it, or being afraid to show it. That is what we need from women. We don't want in Islamic law, if you can things, for example, are forbidden, whereby if a certain outfit or a certain style or a certain behavior is exclusively for men, it is not permitted for women. Likewise, if it is exclusive for women, it is not permitted for men. You see, so we need authentic women. Women who are women, women not who are trying to, you know, not a man's world. It's not a man's world. It's our children's world. So it's children's world, not a man's world, not a woman's world. It's our children's world. We as men and women must work together to live a better world for them. So we need women who are women authentically, purely women, purely feminine, not competing or acting or pretending to be men. No, that's it's a bit problematic. Secondly, we need women who are afifat muhtaramat, who are respectable and chaste. Yes, before I continue, tomorrow we'll be talking about the men in our community. Let there not be this complaint that, yeah, why doesn't he rebuke men? No, it's coming tomorrow and it's going to be harsh. It's going to be easier because I am a man. So when I call out men, it will be easier. Calling out women, I'm sure you can tell in my voice, is also a bit soft. But we need afifat muhtaramat, women who are chaste and women who are respectable, honorable. That is what we need from women. See, especially us as Muslims, we need women who, as the saying goes, that it was in my the saying goes that we judge a society by how it treats its women. My opinion is that we judge a society by the direction women take. When the women go a certain direction, the whole society. There's a very interesting TED talk speaking about the evolution, and how actually female animals are responsible for evolution. I'm not going to go into detail, but it is the women who, for example, choose which male will fertilize her egg. So when she sees, no, weak, no, she doesn't permit him. This and that very interesting TED talk. I forgot the title so long ago that I watched it, but very interesting topic that they talk about how the female is responsible for evolution of a society, basically, or of animals. So yes, with the trends that women take, that's where the society goes. Now, women to be that regard as well, to be afifat, to be chaste, and to be respectable. If you go to a community, you go to a certain area. Let's say I travel from Pretoria, you go to Bloemfontein, you go to wherever, you go to Iraq, you go to, I don't know, the USA, you go to China, you go there, and then you ask, how are the women here? And then they tell you, I know the women here are difficult. Alhamdulillah, that's a good society. You'll see there'll be order. But if they say the opposite, then we're in trouble. Then we have a big problem. So if as Muslims, the women are dignified, are honorable, and are chaste, alhamdulillah, we're in good hands. We're in very good hands in that case. Because then we know that even the next generation are, okay, sorry, let's not mention that. Let's not talk about them as wives and mothers. Let's talk about them as individuals. But when they are honorable, when they are dignified, when they are chaste, and they are not easy to be played with, then our community is respectable. People will say, yeah, no, hey, Muslim sisters are difficult. That means these people, they are principled. That means these people um, are ordered. That means these people are, that's the thing. That's number two. What we need from ladies is for them to be knowledgeable, always learning. It's very unfortunate, and I say this with a pain in my heart. Just once, permit me to mention this about women being married. You find a sister married to a Muslim brother, they have children and so on and so forth. Then, la samahallah, the brother passes away. As soon as the brother passes away, the lady leaves Islam, or she doesn't raise the children Islamically anymore. She throws away her hijab and so on and so forth. Or she's somewhere alone without the husband. Now they ask her about Islam, she doesn't have answers. She doesn't have answers, which unfortunately brings Siritisa Islam, it brings it down. The way people perceive Islam, it adds to the problem that there is. Yakhur, no, women are oppressed in Islam. No, women are not oppressed in Islam. Women are encouraged to learn. Women are encouraged to teach. So what we need ladies who are very knowledgeable or constantly learning. In fact, and very knowledgeable and constantly learning. Not only about religion. Of course, primarily about religion. Priority is Islam, but not only about religion. So this example that I mentioned, they asked this lady, why did you become Muslim? It's because I'm married to. No, no, you don't want that anymore. We need lady, we need ladies who know about Islam, who can explain it themselves. We are all ambassadors of Islam. I spent 7 years abroad studying. Forget that for a moment. And me having a beard and all of that. Forget that. Those people in hijab, they are also representatives of Islam. They are also ambassadors of Islam. So they should represent Islam on their own. They should be able to speak for Islam. This brings us to the fourth thing that we need from ladies. We need them to be teachers and trainers. I think trainer is a bad translation for murabbiya. Muallimat murabbiyat. Nurturers, yes, nurturers. That's a better translation. We need women to be teachers and to be nurturers because it's in their nature. They are very good at it, you know. If I have to teach Akila, my co-speaker, if I have to I always struggle. I end up being frustrated. Why can't she get it right? But her mother is always so kind. I'm like, no, don't be afraid. You can do it. So encouraging. And then she teaches the child. And then I did, alhamdulillah. Then she learned it forever. So we need ladies to always be, you know, after being very knowledgeable and after being constantly learning, we need them to also be teaching. We need them also always to be nurturing. You know, if we can have a madrasa, for example, where we have teachers in the madrasa, where the new Muslims learn. Trust me, I'm sure they would learn better from a woman than from a man because men we like to cut things short. You know, that's why in humanities departments in schools, for example, your LO teacher was probably a woman, and you understood it better. But your maths teacher and your physics teacher was a man. They are exceptions, of course, but generally. But we need that from our ladies. We need them to always be teachers. We need them always to be educators. We need them always to be nurturers. We need them so that when you entrust somebody, you say that no, sister so and so is going to teach you how. We are sure that she's going to do it right. And another thing that we need our ladies to be, and this one is very pivotal, this one is very important, this one is we need them to be the flag bearers of Islam. Yes, they need to be the flag bearers of Islam. What happened after Ashura? How did most of the accounts of Ashura reach us? Through a woman. Salamullahi ala al-aqila, Zainab al-Kubra. That is how the revival, that's how it stayed alive, this remembrance of Ashura through a lady. So even in our modern days today, we need ladies to be the we need them to be the flag bearers of Islam. And it's so easy. Look, I'm dressed in this robe, kurtamo, this one over it. Okay, let's not count the scarf, and this one over it. As soon as I switch off this live, as soon as I'm done with this lecture, I'm gonna take three of these things off, fold them or hang them in the wardrobe, done. Whereas women, no, they don't. They don't. I can then change into my jeans and walk around. Whereas women don't have, um, for the lack of a better word, luxury. Women don't have that. They are always. They should always be turned on. They are always, representing Islam in their outfit. Firstly, in their outfit, the way she dresses. If, for example, now I'm walking with Aqila and her mother in the mall, I'm in my jeans, t-shirt, alhamdulillah, I'm free there. Even say my beard is not even big. You can't even say a beard is a sign of Islam because many people have beards. But as soon as they see my daughter, wife in hijab, they already know that is a Muslim family. That is the importance, that is the role that women have, and that one we can't take it away from them. First of all, we need to commend those who, of course, and beg them, not even encourage, beg those who don't to try and wear it. I'm not here. They say that, yeah, we live in an age where they say that, hey, if you're not a woman, you can't tell women what to do. Amr bil Ma'ruf, you felt like, come on, guys. Those who don't wear hijab all the time, we need to beg them that please. That is the flag of hijab. That, when even in these corporate advertisements and everything, when they want to put a Muslim, they don't put a man. How are you going to put a Muslim man there? A guy with a big beard. What if that person just loves having a beard? Are you going to put a guy in a topi? What if Leon topi is fashion? Going to put a guy there, what, wearing a robe? Oh, there are so many religions that wear a robe. There are so many religions that keep a beard. So many religions that wear something on their heads. They always pick a woman. One series we were watching, saw on Facebook, that they said that no, they're going to be more inclusive. They're going to introduce Muslim extras and so on and so forth. They didn't bring a man. We had to pause and be like, hey, in the background, a lady in hijab. Then you know that, oh, okay, yeah. So please, I'm not forcing anyone. I'm begging all the ladies, please, all the Muslim ladies, please, wear hijab. Please, try, little by little, little by little. We can cite the example of the banning of alcohol in Islam, how it was taken in steps. So perhaps covering fully will be difficult. Of course, for prayers, you have to. There's nothing you can do there. But for start wear bad tukunyana just to cover the hair. wear long sleeve, nyana. Then from there on, improve. And whatever level you reach, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you. Because that is important for Islam. Forget that. Forget it being wajib and everything. But for the mere image of Islam, that's very important. Yes, they call me on Ikwekwezi FM. I go there from time to time to represent Islam, but nobody sees me. I could be lying in my shorts and vest and on the phone, because sometimes we don't even go to the studio, on my phone, and then speaking about Islam and so on and so forth. And then, khalas, alhamdulillah, it's done. But if it was a woman, she always has to be in hijab. This is one very important aspect, you know. Unfortunately, every time a man speaks about hijab, they'll be called hijab PD or whatever. But it's very important. Looking at it from the image of Islam, it's the clearest image of a Muslim family. Anyway, the verse that I started with that speaks about Lady Maryam, salamullahi alayha, what a woman she was. Nah, this verse in the Quran, it says, "O Maryam, uqnuti li rabbiki." O Maryam, supplicate. Wasjudi warka'i ma'ar raki'in. And prostrate as well. Warka'i ma'ar raki'in. And genuflect in prayer, in worship of God with those who worship. The context of this is that, okay, why is it special that for Maryam she must do qunut, she must supplicate to God, she must prostrate and she must pray with those who pray? Why is it so important for her? What's so exclusive about it? The context is, at that time, or in that situation, women were not allowed in the place of worship. Yes, pray fine, but in your own house. Don't come to the temple. You see. So Allah, after her being raised there in the vicinity of the temple, Allah gives her this order and says, "Go pray with them." That's just the context. You see. To show, Allah used a woman to show that, look, don't think you're superior than them. Don't think you're superior to women. Everyone should pray. Everyone should have a right to worship. Everyone should have a right. If, for example, there's Al Hajar al Aswad in Mecca, the black stone in the Kaaba. Yes, maybe women do not kiss it during Hajj because of the congestion. It's difficult for them to get there. They'll be touched, which is touched and whatever, which is not advisable or permissible in Islam, of course. But is it exclusive for men? No, it's not exclusive for men. Women are also allowed. They should kiss the black stone. So I know if we're gonna say no, women are not allowed in the temple. Allah used the woman to show that no, they are allowed in the temple, they're allowed in the mosque, they're allowed in the holy places. So if there's that holy place in the mosque, they'll only be exclusive for men. No. It's so beautiful that in Masjid al-Kufa, there's the door that Imam Ali alayhi salam used to use. I think it's called Bab Nuh, the door of Nabiullah Nuh alayhi salam. It's now closed off and only exclusive to women. They're the only ones that can go there, tabarruk, and pray there, do the a'mal there. It's closed off to women. You see, that's good. That's progressive. It's very important. So these are the 5 things that we need from ladies. That is very important. And we see all these 5 things, all these illustrious 5 things in the lady that we discussed on the 4th night, who is Umm al-Banin alayha salam. We need women to be feminine. We need women to be authentic women. We need women to be knowledgeable and constantly learning. We need them to be teachers and nurturers, educators and nurturers. We need them to be chaste and honorable. And we need women to be the flag of Islam. I'm sure they can hold it higher. Being in South Africa now, Banyana Banyana won the AFCON. The coach, they won Team of the Year as well. The coach won Coach of the Year. So everyone is saying that, maybe for this country also to be in order, we need a woman president. Bismillah, it's all open. And perhaps, who knows, maybe we can get more blessings from that. So all these 5 things, we see them manifest in a lady called Al-Baneen, Fatima Al-Kilabiyya. This lady who, when she was married to Imam Ali alayhi salam, she told him that, look, do not call me by the name Fatima. Do not call me by the name Fatima. Call me Baneen. Call me the mother of the boys, the mother of the sons. Fatima al-Kilabiyya, the one who basically, she dreamt that 4 stars will be sitting in her lap, and then her mother told her that, no, when you give birth to 4 sons who will be very illustrious, who will be magnificent personalities. Oh, and how magnificent were they in Karbala? She was entrusted with raising Al-Hassan al-Hussein. She was entrusted with raising Al-Abbas alayhi salam. She was entrusted with raising the 3 brothers of Abbas alayhi salam. Baneen salamullahi alayha, ruhi laha al-fida. See, she is not from Ahlul Bayt by default, but due to her magnanimity and her piety, she deserves now that position. Such that if you look, it's sort of a culture in Iraq. Every time when they go on a trip in the taxi, they say Fatiha li Umur, recite Fatiha for Baneen, so that our affairs are in order and we are safe on our trip. Baneen, imagine. She's not from Ahlul Bayt. She's not Fatima al-Zahra. She's not Zainab al-Kubra. But she's now very close to that level, such that she deserves this. Taught Abbas. She taught Abbas. She raised him. One example, subhanallah, how she taught it. It's his brother. It's his brother. But the mother taught him that this is your Imam. That's why Abbas alayhi salam never called Imam al-Hussein by my brother Hussein, except in one instance. We'll talk about that on the 7th night, inshallah. Never called him my brother. One incident, Al-Hussein alayhi salam tells his father, Ish, I'm thirsty. She hears this. She tells Abbas, take water to go give it to Hussein. There's like a 25-year age difference between them. So Abbas being small, Imam Hussein being much older at the time, carries water, it drips on him, and so on and so forth, just because of that teaching from his mother, Baneen. This is more a fadila for Baneen than it is for Abbas. She's the one who instructed him and taught him, look, carry this water, go give it to your brother Hussein. Ruhi laha al-fida. She, as they say, let me say it in Arabic first because it might be a bad translation. They say ذهبت في الإسلام, ذهبت في حب الحسين. She dissolved herself in Islam and dissolved herself in the love of Al-Hussein alayhi salam, her commitment towards him, Ruhi laha al-fida. Such a great woman. And we wish all our women can reach that level. I mean, if Fatima al-Kilabiyya, who's not, can create the excuse and say, no, but I'm not from Ahlul Bayt. Fatima al-Kilabiyya did it. She was so dissolved in the cause of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Imagine, she's married to his father. Then the father is martyred, comes Imam al-Hassan. She's committed to him, respectful to him as his Imam, not stepson, as her Imam. She respects him as her Imam. Then he goes, then Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, still same respect, same honor, same commitment to Hussein alayhi salam. Such that when Ibn Hazlam returns chanting, Ya Ahla Yathrib la maqama lakum, la maqama lakum biha. O people of Medina, you will not be able to bear this. قتل الحسين بأرض كربلاء. Hussein has been killed in the land of Karbala. She comes and asks him, Oh Ibn Hazlam, tell me about Hussein. He says, Oh, عظم الله لك الأجر. Oh, my condolences to you for Abbas. I asked you about Hussein. Oh, condolences to you about Aun. I asked you about Hussein. Condolences for you, for your sons. You lost all four of them. Narration say that she was carrying a child. She dropped the child out of concern for Hussein. She said, Ya Hada, I asked you about Hussein. Tell me about Hussein. If we can have women 5% committed to our cause as a community, like Banin, there is nothing we can not achieve. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless our ladies, inshallah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help them in learning their religion, inshallah, and be constantly learning and teach it and defend it and discuss it independently, individually, inshallah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help them and grant them tawfiq and make it easy for them to be chaste and display their modesty with their hijab. Inshallah, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those of them who are mothers, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to assist them in bringing up those children. Those of them who are seeking, who want to be married, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to assist them to find good spouses, inshallah. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to cure the ill and to have mercy on the deceased and to send to them the reward of Al-Fatiha before it's Salat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Malik yawmiddin. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب